Gotta get my Kama Sutra in and I'm out, okay? I come and I go. I come and I go. Houdini. PenPop.
Hi, my name is Ary.
And my name is Dante.
And this is once again PenPop.
What are we listening to lately?
You know what? Lately I was listening to Discipline and Mariah Carey's The Obsessed podcast, the last episode, and Joy to the Puss.
Love. I have been listening to, again, a Taylor song from 50 Shades Darker, I Don't Want to Live Forever. I've been listening to Madonna's music. Don't Tell Me remixes was released. Houdini, of course. And I was actually listening to Needs by Tinashe.
Today's song is by someone who likes purple.
Really? I couldn't tell. Let's get into When Doves Cry by Prince from the movie and album Purple Rain.
Why do we scream at each other? This is what it sounds like when doves cry.
Released on May 16, 1984, When Doves Cry was released as the lead single released from the Purple Rain soundtrack based on the 1984 American rock musical drama film that is a loose biography on the singer's life from Minneapolis. The song was both written and produced by Prince.
The film was directed by Albert Magnoli and follows the kid played by Prince is the frontman of the brand The Revolution and trying to escape his home life from his abusive father, falling in love with Apollonia, and practicing for their big break.
And now let's get into the lyrics.
I'm in my pen.
Alright, everybody, you know what the drill is. It's time to what?
Get your pens out.
Exactly.
What are our first thoughts on When Doves Cry?
All I thought was, I need a bath. I need a bath. I want the roses. I want the elegance. I want purple.
I do love a bath moment. I do.
I love the purple essence of it. And you know what? I thought Purple Rain was just like a song or an album that he did. Whatever. Was it an album?
Me too. Yeah, it's an album.
But I think it's more now like the essence of who he was. Like he really just liked purple. As we can tell.
It's like a lifestyle. It's like Billie Eilish and like her green hair. Like it's just...
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm jealous of the girlies on TikTok who have nice other bath gadgets and such. Mm-hmm. They need to recreate that. Yeah, like honestly, obviously I knew who Prince was.
Of course.
I knew the song. I knew he had a song Purple Rain and When Doves Cry. But I didn't know it was a movie. I knew it was an album, but I didn't really listen to the album until now. I've watched the album. I've watched the movie. That didn't make sense. I listened to the album. I watched the movie. I actually watched the movie. I bought Purple Rain on DVD in like 2015 in the $5 bin at Walmart because I just always wanted to see it, but it's hard to find it online. So then I watched it right away in my basement, and I thought it was a cool movie.
Let's just get into this song because I think this is a song that could get us in a very inspirational mood and see what do we get into. We go line by line. We give our improper interpretations. We do not have college degrees on literacy, journalism, none of it. We're just bad bitches with the hot takes. And we just want to say, we want to discover what the artists were doing during this time. And what really was the motive behind these lyrics?
Okay, dig if you... Well, actually, let's talk about the instrumentation a minute, so I always forget to talk about that. So, like, we open... I don't even know how to describe it. It's very, like, it's drums and guitar.
Yeah.
But it's the way he makes it sound, like, futuristic. It sounds like... I don't know how to describe it. Like, I need to listen to it for 1 second. It starts with a guitar solo, obviously. Because if it's one bitch who knows how to play guitar, it's Prince. And then the drum comes in, and I just love the synth, but it's like... Dun, 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 dun. I don't know how to describe the drum. I don't know what kind of drum it is. But it sounds very, like, alien-esque. It's, like, bouncy.
Yeah. Or muffled kind of sound.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Like, I think they put, like, an echo on it or something. Because it sounds very... Dig, if you will, the picture of you and I engaged in a kiss.
You're already lost. Dig, if you will, the picture.
Like, do you dig this? Like, when someone's like, picture this. Like, you and I engaged in a kiss.
Yeah.
Do you dig it? Like, I think that's what he's trying to say.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I got, too.
The sweat of your body covers me well.
Yeah, well, that's self-explanatory.
Can you, my darling, can you picture this? Okay, I was right.
Yeah. Picture.
Dream if you can. A courtyard. An ocean of violets in bloom. Animals strike curious poses. They feel the heat between me and you. Okay, so let's go back a bit.
Girl.
So we got a
Prince,
courtyard.
Fuck me up. So everybody covers me. Can you, my darling, can you picture this? Can you, I guess it's saying, like, can you see the world we can have? The perfection of our intertwinedness. A dream, if you can, a courtyard of ocean violets in bloom. I guess they're really pretty for him.
Yeah, I
Ocean
like how he
violet.
says I like how it says an ocean instead of saying like a sea of like you see how it's kind of like courtyard is land, and then we have ocean of violets in bloom, and then we have animals strike curious poses. So it's very ethereal things he's mentioning and
Yeah.
very vivid imagery he's describing. And again, purple because violets are purple. So
I was gonna say the purple theme, but yeah, like why picture a dream if you can a courtyard.
when he says courtyard, I just imagine the courtyard from our school. Can I imagine you in the learning garden just digging,
Environmental award, fuck me.
planting seeds? And
Dream if you can a courtyard of oceans of an ocean of violets in bloom.
the animals are watching them.
Why are the animals here? Something here I'm not getting it. Ocean.
It's like an exotic zoo or something, and maybe the animals are watching them, you know, get sweat all
I
over
think I think
themselves.
what he's saying is animals strike curious. I think animal is talking about he and her. They're animals. They're humans. So they're striking different poses. Well, get the Kama Sutra up in here.
Strike a pose.
Is that what it's called? Kama Sutra? Yeah.
The what?
Kama Sutra? Kama Sutra?
What's that?
Isn't that the sex book with the poses?
Huh?
Kama
What the hell is that?
Sutra. I think it's what it's called. Kama
Are you talking
Sutra.
about Playboy magazine? I have never heard of that.
It's a text, includes images of both a male, female's genitalia that was considered a description of human sexuality and offered. Kama Sutra, you know what the hell I'm talking about. It's the sex book that you show like poses and human like.
Oh, okay. I think I've heard of this.
So they're hitting all the poses on the Kama Sutra. The animals are striking different poses. They can feel the heat between me and you.
Yeah. See, I have like almost all of the elements. You have water, earth, fire. We're just missing air.
He's gonna get into it. Don't worry.
No, honestly, I just interpreted it as the animals see the humans and they're mimicking them because they feel the heat between them.
Okay.
I don't know, but I like the Kama Sutra.
Okay.
That's more interesting. How can you leave me standing alone in a world that's so cold? So cold.
See, there's the wind.
It's kind of a one and done. She's not here to stay and cuddle. She's like, I need to
gotta go.
Get my It's kind of a one and done. She's not here to stay and cuddle. She's like, I need to
gotta go.
I gotta get my Kama Sutra in and I'm out. Okay. It's kind of a one and done. She's not here to stay and cuddle. She's like, I need to
gotta go.
I gotta get my Kama Sutra in and I'm out. Okay. I come and I go. I come and I go. Houdini.
With him just like someone who doesn't really want to be with him. So then.
Or maybe he's just moving on to another subject. Maybe he's talking to God. Like, how can you leave me standing alone in a world that's so cold? Like the reality of life versus heat of his dreams. Because isn't the courtyard a dream? He's like, can you dream of a courtyard? He's dreaming and it comes back to reality.
I have no idea. You're talking about the Garden of Eden?
No, because he's saying dream if you can a courtyard. And then he's saying, how can you leave me standing alone in a world that's so cold? It's kind of like he's awakened from the dream.
Sure.
Of the courtyard, and now he's dealing with the realities of life.
Maybe. Or maybe when you're like sexual intercourse, like you're in the dream world, and now all of a sudden you're like out of it. So
yeah, like the haze is gone.
Okay, that could work.
Maybe I'm just too demanding. Maybe I'm just like my father, too bold. Maybe you're just like my mother. She's never satisfied.
Oh, I think you're right. She was like one time, and I'm not satisfied.
Yeah, she's like, listen, this is not something serious. Yeah. I'm just here.
She just wanted to hit a couple poses. She wanted to do a bingo card on the Kama Sutra. Yeah, maybe he just said, I love you from the beginning, or like he said something that he shouldn't have.
But I kind of feel like he's talking about something else here, but everyone should think that he's talking about his relationship.
What is he talking about?
I think here he's addressing like his insecurities about life, or maybe why he hasn't reached music success in the movie. Like he's on the come up with the band. He's like, why are we not? Like, what are we doing wrong? Or am I too demanding?
Could be.
Am I too bold?
But it doesn't explain why you're just like my mother. She's never satisfied.
He's not satisfied with the results. He wants to be even bigger. He wants to be a star.
No, she's never satisfied.
Oh, true, because maybe
the label is not never satisfied with his results. Maybe they want more from him.
Maybe
his mother. Maybe his mother doesn't like what he's doing. She's like, yeah, I think you should have been better. I think you could have been a doctor instead of a musician. But it could be true. Like, maybe I'm just too demanding, and maybe you're just like my mother.
Why do we scream at each other? This is what it sounds like when doves cry. So he's using doves cry as a metaphor for their screaming at each other.
And doves crying is very sentimental, very emotional, very painful.
Because they're supposed to be like, they represent love and peace.
And the Holy Spirit.
So when a dove cries, It's not peaceful.
So we sound like.
And don't doves go in pairs or something? Or is that
I'm pretty sure, yes. No, you're right.
partridges?
They pair for life. Is that it? Or is that penguins?
I
Can we
don't
get a
know.
biologist in here?
Let's search it up. Can we get what's an animal expert?
Biologist. Zoologists.
It's fairly common to see two mourning doves cuddling with each other. Mating pairs are monogamous and often mate for life.
Yeah.
Sometimes used for them is turtle doves.
So they only do one pairing.
When they're in mourning.
No, forever. When they're mourning, they cry together.
Right.
But they're paired for once. Like they're only going to have one partner. It's okay. So I think what he's saying is, why do we scream each other? Why are we fighting with each other? When doves cry, basically saying like losing one another would be like very detrimental to each other.
Touch, if you will, my stomach. Feel how it trembles inside. Can somebody get Prince a snack? Are you hungry? I mean, I haven't really consumed much today. My stomach's trembling a bit as well.
Mine is full.
You've got the butterflies all tied up. Don't make me chase you. Even doves have pride.
Yeah, I think what he's saying here is that flies of like feeling, because he feels like touch my stomach, if you will. Like he's nervous, like the butterflies you get when you're with that person, and then all of a sudden she got them all confused because she's leaving.
Right.
They'll make me chase you. Even doves have pride. I'm a pride person,
and he's
a powerful person.
It's a shot to his ego.
Don't do that to me.
And he's a dove. He's calling himself a dove because he's a loving person.
Pretty much.
Who wants to be monogamous. And we're going to the pre-chorus again. How could you leave me standing alone in a world so cold? Maybe I'm just too demanding. Maybe I'm just like my father, too bold. Maybe you're just like my mother. She's too satisfied. She's never satisfied. Why do we scream at each other? This is what it feels like when doves cry. And then he repeats it again. How can you leave me standing alone in a world that's so tall? Blah, blah, blah. Why do we scream at each other? This is what it sounds like when doves cry.
When doves cry. And at the end, he says, don't cry. That was don't cry. So the cry.
Maybe she's saying to him, don't cry.
Could be. Or he could be saying to himself.
Because he's calling himself a dove, and he's saying when we scream, it's like doves cry.
And he's saying to himself, maybe don't cry. She's not worth it. Maybe she's not deserving for you. We're moving on.
It's
there
closure.
Will be better doves in the sea. In the air.
Yes.
Like plenty of fish in the sea, but plenty of doves in the air.
Exactly. I get it.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Okay, dearly beloveds. Let's take a break and we'll be back to discuss all things Prince.
Not dearly beloved. Hey guys, we're stopping our very own podcast for our very own fake ad until we get sponsorships.
We love manifesting. Make sure to follow us on whatever social media you're on at PenPop Podcast to get notified for new episodes, because why would you miss them?
Or just talk to us in general on our personal accounts at DanteDidomenico_ and at Ary Dominguez Official.
And if you like what you're hearing so far, don't forget to leave us a rating or review from wherever you're listening to this podcast.
And now, back to PenPop.
PenPop.
Okay, now that we've analyzed the lyrics, we have to get into the rollout of the song, the music video, the movie, and more.
Once again, When Doves Cry was produced, sung, and written by Prince. Who's doing that today?
No one. And like I said, and I'll say it again, live instruments, people playing instruments from in their tracks, it's what made us love music in the first place. We went from original, music to synthetic. It's synthesized with computers, too much computer generated. It don't sound the same. We need to go back to that. And I think that's what people don't understand. Music now doesn't have the same composition because it's not authentically instrumental. You know what I mean? We don't have instrumentation anymore.
It's too artificial.
Too fake. So it's mostly not because people are singing that don't really play instruments in the first place. So they don't really understand what's going on. But at the end of the day, that's what original music was, right? Like singing with instruments.
Yeah.
So for him to do this, that's what he did. But the guitar, I'm pretty sure he knew to play the guitar. So he played that. He incorporated it in somehow in every song, right? Not all of them, I don't think, but majority of it.
Mostly.
Because that's what he did.
Otherwise, the piano, he knew how to play tons of instruments, like almost everyone. But there is. Another interesting fact, apparently there's no bass line in the song, which was unusual for an 80s dance song at the time. To be honest, when I read this, I didn't really hear a difference. And I don't really see it as a dance song. I see it as just like pop or rock, I guess. But I could understand why he didn't put a bass line to make it sound more cold and to emphasize isolation and betrayal.
Yeah. Like the drums.
It's not like a warm song. It's very cut and dry with the drums and the synths.
Pretty much. It's the drums that are carrying it bass-wise. Like the song is in the key A minor, featuring guitar, drum machines, loop guttered vocals, synthesizers, and a classic keyboard. Keyboardist Matt Fink said that synthesizers were played by Prince at an octave lower and then sped up by the final track. So basically, they played it in a lower octave and then sped it up when it was mastered, I guess. That's the thing. People don't talk about instrumentation anymore.
Or even just playing around with things, like not just doing the same old formula every time. Like, and she's like, you know what? Let's not do the usual. Let's put it an octave lower, and then we'll speed it up.
We
and
need
see
things
what
like this. Like,
happens.
why don't I hear articles of people talking about what they did with the track? Like producers, we need more producers to talk about what they did, what they didn't do, what they innovated, something like that. I just feel like now it's too much about the music and like forget what we did. Just what is the result? What is the success of it? Like, let's talk about what you did. Don't you think?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, honestly, I think that's like just a part of culture. Like, if you're not really interested, like the casual listener, I don't know if they care.
That is true.
But like you said, like the stands, they definitely care more about proving how successful the song is and competing with another person versus what the person actually did on the song. They don't really care that they did an octave lower. They're just like, well, it's sold more than XYZ, so who cares?
And that's why it's toxic. Because like, okay, that's not the whole point, but okay.
So When Doves Cry reached #1 in the US on the Hot 100 for 5 weeks and became the year-end #1 single for 1984, according to Billboard. It also reached the top spot in Australia, Canada, and #2 in New Zealand, and top 5 across Europe. In 2006, VH1's The 100 Greatest Songs of the 80s ranked the song at #5.
Now let's talk about the performance music video and interviews.
Yes. Obviously, we got to talk about the music video. So it starred and was directed by Prince himself. It's giving me in a group project. I do it all. So it has all white doves flying with Prince in a bathtub, scenes in the film, and the Revolution Band performing in a white room at the end with a mirrored frame effect. The video sparked controversy, though, among network executives at MTV who thought that its sexual nature was too explicit for television. What, him sitting
Well, he
in a
got up and I
bathtub?
thought he was going to show his frontal, but no, he just kept it up the shoulders, which is fine. Like, why is this sexual?
I don't know. I really don't understand the rules.
I think it was more like the kissing and all that. It's just very, I guess, pornographic in a way, and people didn't really want to see that. Right now, this would have been like whatever.
Why they're not here for the Kama Sutra? I mean, what can I say?
There were not promoters of the Kama Sutra back then, so I think that's why they did it. But there was nothing that sexual. It was just those scenes, the bathtub scenes and whatever, them kissing. The rest, it was him dancing, motorcycle, which I wasn't confused. What was the motorcycle about?
That's from the movie, I believe. Like, it's just his character
Okay, that
rides a
makes more sense.
motorcycle.
As you can see, I have not watched the movie. Sorry, Prince. As if I'm personally offending him.
It's honestly a very chaotic movie.
Yeah, I could tell. The motorcycle going up, and I'm like, what? What's going on here?
Yeah, there's a lot of different imagery in the music video. Like, you have the double doors with the doves flying, him chilling in the bathtub. There's like flowers on the floor. And when I was watching this, it was really aesthetic, obviously. But I was thinking, I'm like, what if he's alluding to like witchcraft? Like because like a lot of spells use different herbs and flowers, and you put it in a cauldron. And I'm wondering if maybe he's kind of alluding to witchcraft.
Could be. Did he say anything? What did he say again?
Like a love, like a love spell.
Imagine an ocean of violet something, and then
animals strike curious poses. I don't know. Kama Sutra.
I think that's what it was, but it could be animals in different poses. I know, like witchcraft, they like the chicken and stuff like that. They can kill them and stuff. So I don't know. It just has more mysteriousness to that.
Yeah, and then we have like the painted face in the back with the red and blue, and it sheds a purple tear at the end. And yeah, it's a very chill video. I mean, every time I feel like somebody talks about it, they talk about it's like extremely controversial, and then I watched it, I'm like,
for the times probably was controversial, but for now it's like, this is vanilla.
It's not that it's a vanilla video. It's just I just don't find it shocking.
The
I think it's a beautiful video. I'm like, okay, he's in the bath.
Have you seen what these people do now?
I think it was groundbreaking in the sense that he was probably one of the male artists like Michael who really took the video form seriously and made a interesting visual with the story. And like, again, like I feel like most soundtrack videos, as already the standard is low because they're gonna put clips of the movie in it. But at least he still took the time and effort to make a compelling video. Anyway, let's get into the performances, interviews, and whatever. The thing is, there's actually not really a performance of this. I mean, we really only have the song live at the Purple Rain tour I found in Atlanta. And it's kind of just the same thing. He dresses up exactly like the album cover. He's got the purple suit, the lace white gloves, the fringe cuffs, very Renaissance style, a burgundy fedora. You know, the stage presence is there. He made something that's really interesting. I've listened from other podcasts. Is Janet's producers Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis they all used to be in a band together called The Time. Prince would make them like dance while they're playing the instruments and sing as well. And they're like, I don't know if we can do that. And he's like, can you play the guitar? And they're like, well, yes. And he's like, okay, so let's do the song one time while you're just playing guitar. Okay. And then it would be like, okay, that was good. Now this time I want you to sing as well. And so he would just like break it down. And he'd be like, okay, this time I want you to show a little bit more emotion. Okay, this time we're gonna add some choreography. So you're just gonna like do a little sway back and forth. And so basically, like, instead of just telling them, he would just make it do it. Like, and just like slowly they perfected the performance and added different elements.
Can't do I. Yeah.
We have an award show moment where he dominates the American Music Awards in 1985. He beats Lionel Richie. He beats Michael Thriller, which was, I mean, the competition was stiff. What can I say? Madonna and some other man from a movie introduces him. Like, there's like multiple A-list people in the building. And at the award show, and I found this YouTube comment that said, from the video, Prince walking on stage behind the Revolution, which was the band with him at the time, was a huge statement because he's trying to show, I didn't do this by myself. I'm here to showcase the incredible talent that surrounds me. And also his bodyguard, who is like this big man who looks like Santa Claus with like straps and a black t-shirt. And then there's Prince, who's like this little like Devo, like in purple with makeup and heels. And he's like, has to get up with him every time he wins an award the entire night. And everyone is like, who is this Santa Claus man that... I don't know. It's just funny. And then it's just funny because like they already have security at the show and like none of the other celebrities have their own security. And he's like, no, I'm making my bodyguards sit right beside me. I'm making sure nobody's taking me out tonight.
And those are the award shows you're like, wow, I wish I could experience that. I don't know. It's just, I guess we like the people of the older times, but that to me seems like a fun award show to be at. Has the budget gone down? Like, I just don't know.
I think the budget's gone up. Like, technology's better. But I just
why
feel like
does it look better back then?
We have social media. Well, I think first of all, even though we have better cameras, it's not necessarily for the best. Okay? Because a lot of these people, they looked better in the 80s because, you know, we didn't have the Apple camera picking up all the blemishes and wrinkles and filters and whatever. So they look good. And that's why sometimes I'm like, okay, let's back up the camera a little bit. And I guess budget has gone up, but people use less props. So it feels kind of empty with just the screens and the lights. And the thing is, it's just like, who's going now? Like, what's the point?
Well, maybe like for us, we're older souls, but for and like younger kids, like maybe they like what people that are going. I don't know.
I don't know any person outside of myself who watches award shows.
That is true.
It's a dead thing. It's our generation and beyond, but even our generation is not tuning in. It's something I tune into like briefly because we already get crumbs, period. But that's just because I'm obsessed with music and pop culture.
This is great. What are your final thoughts on your When Doves Cry?
I mean, I think it's pretty iconic for your debut movie to star in it. It could have been a glitter situation, and he succeeded. I'm surprised, honestly. I'm really surprised the label let him do this. I don't know who was financially backing it, because they didn't know it was going to be so commercially successful. Yeah. And I think it just really shows his versatile talent as a producer, director, instrumentalist, a writer, singer, and more. Like, literally, what's like above a triple threat? Like, he's like a syncette threat, octagon threat, like...
Octa threat.
Octa threat, octopus, and animal strike carriers poses. And on that note,
thank you for coming on my show. Now, y'all know what the doves are going to do when y'all cry out of pain when y'all be practicing the Kama Sutra the next day going to work. So get yourself a Kama Sutra book. I think they're online. And practice while playing Doves Cry in the background with your husbands and your wives.
Absolutely. And invest in some good lush bath bombs and towel warmer and essential oil.
Alrighty.
Literally.
See you next time.
Okay, guys. Thanks for listening. Bye.
PenPop is produced and edited by Ary Dominguez and Dante Domenico. Hosted by Ary Dominguez and Dante Domenico. Graphics created by Ary Dominguez and Dante Domenico. Themes music created by Ary Dominguez. Thank you to the listeners who support us. If you'd like to show your support or learn more information, visit the show notes in your podcast app.
Copyright disclaimer: under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by a copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Bye!